And those of you who are going to watch this back on the replay, that's fine as well. I want you to share it too. Alrighty, so now that I've shared it, I'm going to get into this topic. And again, we are going to break this down possibly into several different videos. Okay. Todaya. So when I look at the state of the Black community, we are in crisis. Both natural and spiritual. Both natural and spiritual. From time to time, I am going to look at the chat comments. One that just jumped out at me right away is Isaiah. She says that she is a young Israelite of 22 years old and she is very grieved. So hopefully I can bring you some level of understanding and comfort as I speak on this topic. There is indeed, look at the title here, a satanic plot to destroy and kill the Black woman, right? And I will say this too, I will not tolerate interruptions in the chat from men who don't understand why I'm talking about the things I'm talking about, those who want to whine about nothing. We don't have time for that. It's too late in the evening in terms of the time that we're living in. There was an old Christian song that says it's getting late in the evening, the sun is going down. It was talking about the end times. It wasn't talking about the actual day. So I want to talk about this satanic plot to destroy Black women. And there are so many elements. And I want to start off by saying that with all of these different plots, it leads back to some very serious facts. Okay? Maybe not in this particular broadcast, but I want to talk about the chosen seed. The fact that the chosen seed can only come from a Black woman. Okay, I want to talk about what's going on in the medical industry. I want to talk about what's going on in the hood. I want to talk about what's going on with our Black men concerning Black women. And I also want to talk about our Black women concerning Black women. I want to talk about the Asian woman, the white man, everyone in the world concerning the Black woman. That's why I say this is a lot deeper than your mind can comprehend. A lot deeper than any of our minds can comprehend. Had to get a quick sip. Okay, family, so we are going to get into this, and hopefully we can get an understanding of what Satan is doing. This is why I said there is a satanic plot. Okay, a satanic plot to destroy the Black woman. And so the first thing I wanted to talk about is something that jumped out at me right away. I shared a video on my channel yesterday. And in sharing that video, something was very, very, very clear to me as we watched it. It was a testimony of a young Black woman. And the testimony was very deep, okay? Those of you who identify as so-called Hebrew Israelites, you need to get past the fact that she is a Christian, the woman giving the testimony, okay? Get past that. Her testimony is powerful. I think sometimes these religious zealots miss the whole message because they focus on the wrong things. She had a very, very, very powerful testimony. As a matter of fact, I think I want to go ahead and just show it on the screen so that those of you who haven't seen it can go at a later time and listen to her testimony in its entirety. Okay? Listen to it in its entirety because it is a very, very deep testimony. And I'm going to focus on one particular part at this moment as to what happened to this woman in her testimony. I want to focus on this so you all will see that it actually lines up. It actually lines up with what we see happening to black women in general, and it also lines up with Satan's agenda to X out the chosen seed. That's another topic I'm going to speak on. So let me just show you this video, the screenshot of this video really quick here, so that you can go back and look at it at a later time. Here is the video, okay? And this woman, she shares a testimony. The video is titled "Woman Dies During Labor and Goes to Heaven." Okay, it's on All Things Millennial channel, and she outlines in her testimony what happened with all of her children during their births. She even talks about how when she would go and have her children, that the doctor was always telling her that her body was not made for giving birth. Okay, that's a very, very significant point. Very, very significant point that needs to be made. They kept telling her that her body is not made to give birth to babies, right? She's gonna share her testimony of what happened with her first child, how the doctor told her to abort the child and that they would do it for free when she was a few months pregnant. Okay, they said the child was going to be retarded. The child was going to be all kinds of things, deformed, or just different things like that. You'll hear exactly what they said about the child in the testimony. She said, "No, I'm not doing that." Now, she is a married woman, okay? She said, "No, we're not going to get rid of our child, right?" The child was born normal, despite them telling her that the child was going to be disabled and going to need 24-hour care. They said all of these things was going to happen to this child. Child is normal, 21 years old now, very successful life, but yet the doctor told her to get rid of it and we will do it for free. Then she goes on to share some of her other testimonies, right? And the last testimony she shared is when she literally died in the hospital. But the part I want to focus on in her dying in the hospital during childbirth. Listen to this, family. They were giving her an epidural. And you all know what that's for. And in the process of giving her the epidural, she told the nurse, she says, "You're giving me too much. You're putting too much in me." And the nurse was like, no, I'm not, you're fine. I'm not giving you too much. You're fine, right? And she kept insisting that you are giving me too much. And the nurse kept insisting that she was not giving her too much. So what ended up happening, to make a long story short, I want you to hear the full testimony yourself. But to make a long story short, this woman died on the table. Before she passed away, she said she felt herself slipping away. Now, keep in mind that she told the nurse that you are putting too much of that medication in me. She said something was starting to happen in her legs that she wasn't supposed to feel. She said something strange was happening in her body, and she told the woman that you're giving me too much, and the woman insisted that she was not. Long story short, she said to her husband, she says, "If I don't make it, I want you to know that I love you and I love the children." She said, "I want you to know that I love you and I love the children." So I felt like in that moment, I felt like in that moment that they were trying to kill that woman with a smile on their face. Now, I'm not going to tell you her death experience. I want you to watch the video for that. Watch the video. Chris G says the nurse was attempting to delete her. Also, Chris G says, I was told that about my last child when I was 42. They wanted me to have amnio, and I said no. My husband was scared. I still said no. My child is now is about to turn 23 years old. Van Life with Energy says they told her that her daughter would have brain damage and spinal bifida. But she didn't. She's normal. She was a normal birth, and she's now 34 years old. So listen, Monster Criley says she almost died 2 times with her last 2. Okay, let me say this as well. I've shared my testimony as well. When I was giving birth to my daughter Sophia, how I literally felt like that doctor was trying to kill me and my daughter. Okay, I've shared that testimony before, and it was something very demonic in her eyes. I remember when she yelled at me as she was hurting me, and she yelled in such a way and says, Tamiko, I'm not gonna let you hurt me. That's literally how she sounded. And of course, you know, it was a white female doctor. It had gotten to the point she was hurting me so bad that a white male doctor came in after she left the room, because he was there, she was there, and of course my husband was there. But after she left the room, this white male doctor came back in. He says, I am not going to let her hurt you anymore. And he took over from that point. And so these things that are happening to black women in hospitals,